Warning, there may be explicit language in today's episode. Viewer discretion is advised.
Good old-fashioned episode today, huh? No guests. Dogging it.
Me.
No, this is so unfortunate. I'm
Yes,
back.
The penalty box is out of the window today.
Yep.
I don't care.
None of that. When there's only two of us. God, it feels weird at this point.
This is old. When was the last time it was you and me? I think it was like that stretch where Dom wasn't on for like a month.
Yeah. I think it was. At least we were in the studio for that, though.
And correct me if I'm wrong, for Tailgate Talks, I think this is the first time on Zoom. It's just you and me.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's true.
That's crazy.
That is crazy.
I don't want to do this.
I know we have a pretty big timesheet today.
Yep. Pooh! I don't even want to start because how much I don't want to do this, but it's okay.
Facts.
It's okay. Real quick, I want to mention so we get this out of the way. It is the middle of the Canadian Football League season, and the Argos won a close game, 39-36 against Edmonton. So, big win. We'll go into more detail when next week, perhaps. But the reason why I'm cutting that short, somebody has been promising a little rant about the Florida Panthers. I've been waiting for this rant. I know he called us a glazer, an Oilers glazer, but I'm going to let this man speak on the Panthers. Now, as we speak, Game 7 is going on right now.
16:38 left in the second.
If it started a little earlier, if it was the third period, I would have waited until the third period where we start this and we just continue to watch it until we have a champion.
Yeah.
Actually bring some interest to this. But if we started that now, the show would be forever.
Yeah, actually.
So, Alex, go ahead.
So I'll say this first.
Ha
At the point that I called you guys Glazers, Connor McDavid and Oilers Glazers, the Oilers were down 3-0. They had been outscored 11-4, and Connor McDavid had 0 points. So, as that was, we will just forget about that. Now, if any of you watching this follow me on Twitter, you would see that I tweet, at least at the current moment, about the Panthers more than pretty much anything.
You first of all, you tweeting period is just astonishing.
I know, it's crazy, right? But yeah, so I pretty much tweet about, I would say most of my tweets right now are actually about the Panthers. But I sent out a thread, actually. I made a thread before Game 6 about my thoughts going into this game. Or that game. Sorry, we're in Game 7 now, obviously. But going into Game 6, I tweeted a thread on my thoughts on what the Panthers needed to do to win that game in Edmonton to win the Stanley Cup. They did not do most of those things. And at the end, or actually, I believe after Game 6 ended, it was either during the game or after it ended, I tweeted that the Panthers were in what Chris Broussard coined as a supernatural funk. And I think that is the only possible way to describe what has happened to this hockey team over the past 3 games. Now it's 1-1 right now. This game's going well so far. Edmonton is on a power play right now, by the way. But I just genuinely, I have no idea. I can't even, as a fan and a watcher of hockey, obviously I don't know hockey like I know football, but as a fan and a watcher of hockey, I cannot explain what has happened to this team other than it being a supernatural funk. They're lazy, they're undisciplined, they're sloppy. They haven't played well. They look a lot tighter in this game finally, but they're committing terrible turnovers. They've given up more rushes than anyone, like probably ever. That's probably an exaggeration, but you get my point. They keep giving up odd man rushes. They've given up 4 shorthanded goals in this series. And it's just like, if you watched them in that 3-game stretch where they lost all 3, it just didn't look like a professional hockey team. They were committing terrible turnovers. They were just doing things that a professional hockey team doesn't do. Turning the puck over, giving odd man rushes to a team that is clearly, able to score whenever they're in the offensive zone. They couldn't keep the puck out of their own end, and even when they were in the Edmonton offensive side of the ice, they just turned it over and gave it back to them and gave them a favorable rush and left Bobrovsky out on an island by himself to try and defend it. Now, with all that being said, my biggest frustration is with Paul Maurice, the head coach, because it took absolutely forever for him to make a line change. And even once he did, initially, it still didn't really look any better. So I'm hoping that as we're watching this game right now, in which Bobrovsky is playing quite well, shocker, his 1 goal given up in this game so far was on an odd man rush. Gonna ignore that. But the team finally seems to be back off their heels and skating forward again, thank God. Because they just looked completely outclassed. They looked like they were on their heels the whole time, like they were scared, like they just didn't know how to handle being up so huge in a series. I honestly have never seen a series where for the first 3 games, one team looked miles better than the other, and then for the next 3 games, it was completely flipped. I've never seen that before. Actually, I have last year when the Panthers played the Bruins in the first round. Sorry, Bruins fans. No, I'm not. I hate you all. But yeah. So that's the end of the rant. Florida, I mean, they blew a golden opportunity. If you were on the internet after the first loss when they lost 8-1 saying that it was so that they could win the cup at home, you're stupid. No one does that. They would have much rather swept a team in the Stanley Cup Finals. That would have been a lot cooler of a story. Doesn't matter. We'll see how the rest of this game goes.
Oh, man. Man, oh, man.
Also, I believe in those 3 games that Florida lost, they got outscored like 19-6 or something like that. It was horrific.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, usually, okay, for a little insider
14-6, sorry.
Insider knowledge from us to you, the people that are watching, either now or in the future. Basically, right now, what's going on in our chat with Dom, anytime the Oilers score, me and Dom right away, boom, boom, boom.
Yeah, pretty much.
Just guns a-blazing. But yeah, so we'll keep an eye on the score as we're still recording here.
Yeah. I have it on the TV, so
I hate these Zoom shows.
I know, me too. Also, we'll say it. I'll talk about it more with Dom whenever he's back on. Hopefully next week we can talk about it a little bit and recap the Stanley Cup Finals and do maybe our entire NHL season recap or something along those lines. Mm-hmm. Connor McDavid, this is the first time I've watched him at length ever. Absolutely ridiculous. Don't get it at all. It's unbelievable. It seriously is.
For real. Remind me about next week after we're done. I might have an idea about something for next week. God, I hate these shows. I'm sorry.
Look at the.
Okay, so basically, and maybe Alex, maybe you can I don't know if you'd agree with this or not. Basically, for us, obviously as college kids, it's different. But for us, this is how our months kind of feel. May feels like our June. June feels like our July. And July drags
Yeah, pretty much.
to August. That's how it is.
Yeah.
Winter Zoom shows, I don't mind.
No, they're not bad.
This summer, which actually has not been a bad summer at all. Really.
No, not at all.
Has not been that bad. I can't really complain. But yeah. So, by the way, the Pirates are losing 11-5 to Cincinnati right now.
Mhm.
We'll mention that later. But real quick, JJ Redick, the new head coach of the Los Angeles Lakers.
Yeah, curious about that.
Yeah, I know you're not a big NBA fan, Alex, but
No.
try to answer this question to the best of your ability. And if you don't know, you can just laugh at me and say, "Brother, I don't know."
Yep.
How do you think the element of JJ Redick as the new head coach will go with LeBron?
Yeah, that's a really good question, actually. LeBron is such a predominant figure on that team. Most people would probably consider him the assistant head coach of that team at this point. So I think it's just going to be for JJ Redick. I think it's just going to be coming in, getting the team acclimated to his style, which we don't really know what it is because he's barely coached basketball at all. Get in there.
Very good
get
basketball player, though, when he was playing.
Amazing basketball player, yeah. But get in, get the team acclimated to your style, establish that this is the biggest thing. Get in there, establish to your players that you don't give a what they think about your experience, and tell them, I'm here to be your coach. I'm going to coach you to the best of my ability. I'm going to get everything I can out of you, and we're going to find a way. And I think that's really all JJ Redick can do. I think all he can do is go in there and establish that he, regardless of his experience, is the coach, is an alpha, and he doesn't care about any of that. He cares about coaching and winning basketball. And I think if he can do that, he can gain the respect of the players, even LeBron, and they might not be a total dumpster fire.
Oh, man.
Very curious hire, though, for sure.
Yeah.
Especially when you were this close to having Dan Hurley.
Facts.
Actually,
But,
maybe not that close, to be fair. I don't know that he ever actually wanted to leave UConn.
Probably not, no. But let's stick with the NBA because we have an NBA
Yeah.
champion.
We do.
The Boston Celtics.
All of a sudden, everyone's even more happy that the Bruins got knocked out by the Panthers.
Listen, Jason Tatum, I like him. Jaylen Brown, I like him.
Yeah.
But Boston.
18th NBA title?
I think so. Luka played his heart out. 28 points, Kyrie 15. Those guys can't do it by themselves. Celtics did win the series 4-1, and the last game was 106-88.
Gentleman's sweep.
I think Jaylen Brown got MVP, if I'm not mistaken.
He did. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I thought so. Yep, Jaylen Brown MVP. We'll go into more in depth of what the Mavericks need to do when like EJ is back or Dom's back, because they got the guards. They're a very good team, but of course, like many other teams, there's always usually something missing. So we will dissect that later, and we'll figure out what is missing for the Dallas Mavericks. WNBA. Take a wild guess who we're talking about.
Real quick before we get to that, I think it's really funny that after Game 5 when the Celtics won, Jason Tatum said, "What are they going to say now about him?" and immediately I just went, he didn't win Finals MVP. If you're a professional athlete, you can never escape the questions. Everyone's gonna have questions every time. It's just funny.
Yeah.
But yeah, WNBA.
Yes, the Fever continue to lose because Angel Reese powers Sky past Fever with 8th straight double-double as the Sky beat the Fever 88-87. Caitlin Clark, 17 points, 5 for 11 field goals, and 5 for 9 at 3. Angel Reese, 25 points, 8 for 12 field goals, 0 for 0 for threes.
Yeah, she ain't that shooter. Not like CC.
So
I also
Angel,
believe that was the first time the Sky beat the Fever this year, wasn't it?
I think so.
Because that was like the big talking point with this like rivalry between Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese was like the Fever hadn't lost to the Sky yet. So I think that was the first time they beat them. I'm not positive on that, but I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. Angel Reese, like, I know this was a little bit ago, but the dirty hit on Caitlin Clark, it's gonna happen to Caitlin Clark a lot.
It is.
It is. You're the reason the Fever, who are not good without
Yep.
Caitlin Clark, you're the reason. She's the reason that they have great ticket sales. Kind of like with the Pirates and Paul Skeens.
I mean, pretty much the whole WNBA ticket sales are up because of it.
Yeah, because Caitlin Clark is a dog.
She is a dog. She's insane.
Insane. But yeah, we'll continue to follow Caitlin Clark in the WNBA because we care about all sports, not just men's sports.
I'll be talking about the Olympics at some point once those really kick in.
Ooh, dude,
So excited.
Winter Olympics.
Oh yeah, Winter Olympics do hit different. That's a fact.
Absolutely. Man, we're already at Pirates and then Rundown. This is gonna make my job easy this week.
Yeah, we had less than I thought we had to talk about.
I'm fine with that. I'm fine. Do you have the sheet pulled up for Rundown?
Yeah, I have it open on a window.
All right, sweet. But this could actually take a little bit of time.
I was gonna say there's a lot for the Pirates, so
I'm gonna ask you this, Alex, and I'm not gonna go off of what is going on as we speak because I have my opinions, and the Pirates need more bats.
badly.
I will go into that in a little bit. Maybe we'll do a segment either next week or in 2 weeks, whatever week Bryce is on, and we'll do mock trades for the Pirates going into the trade
That's a good
deadline.
idea.
And we should probably start doing season previews for NFL teams too.
Yeah, definitely.
But okay, Alex, I'm going to ask you this question. Already, is Paul Skeens a top 5 pitcher in the majors?
Oh, that's hard because I don't know how many like seriously great pitchers there are right now.
I'm going to shock you. A resounding yes.
Fair enough.
Do you see the pitches he is throwing? I get it.
I was
going to
say
some games that are not like what he did against the Cubs in Chicago that one time. But still, he is striking guys out 102. The only reason he did not win his last game is because the Pirates, minus Brian Reynolds, minus surprisingly Andrew McCutcheon since Skeens got called up, but still little iffy. O'Neal Cruz is on and off. Minus those guys, the Pirates offense sucks.
It's bad. It's really bad. Minus those guys and the occasional Yasmani Grandal bomb.
And I can talk about this. Rowdy Tellez, by far, offensively, in my God-honest opinion, has been the worst offensive player on the Pirates this year. However, in June, he's gotten better. You want to know how he's gotten better? He went to a different hitting coach, and it worked. Now joining Key Brian Hayes, who's struggling right now, so whatever. and O'Neal Cruz. So, as of right now, if you mean to tell me your worst offensive hitter for this year, yeah, he only has 2 bombs. I know. Hold on. Your worst offensive hitter is going somewhere else to fix his swing, and it's working. What else do you need
I was gonna
about
say,
Andy
yeah. I
Haynes?
mean,
What else do you
regardless
need?
regardless of where he is on that batting order and where he is perceived to be at in terms of ability, if anyone on your team is going to get outside help and they're getting better, that really needs to be assigned to the coaching staff.
Listen, I've said my piece about Kenny Pickett. Everybody knows what my stance on that is. But before the Bengals game, and I'm sure maybe he did this, but when Canada was still there, and Kenny Pickett worked with a different offensive coordinator to get better for the Steelers, and then in games it showed like he threw 2-3 touchdown passes, close to 300 yards a game, but it's because of that. Wouldn't you think that's embarrassing? Though Canada was embarrassing on his own, don't get me wrong. But my point is, still, if he would have did that and it would have worked, it would have been more embarrassing for the Steelers. It would have been more embarrassing for Mike Tomlin, and it would have been more embarrassing for Matt Canada.
Yeah.
Now, I was sent a text message earlier today about Jack Sawinski and his plate approach. And this is one of the worst plate approaches I have ever seen in my entire life. This is also coming from Will Crow. I know he's a pitcher, but still he talked about how Andy Haynes works. He can't decide what to do, which, by the way, if you can't decide what to do, why are you in the majors?
I mean,
You
yeah,
are
for real.
in
That's
what? You are in what? I know you've been sent down, called up, sent down, called up. I know, but you have been in the majors for almost 3 years. I believe it's 2 to 3 years, and you don't know what to do. First year, I can let that slide. But Alex,
yeah.
if a quarterback in the NFL, a rookie quarterback in the NFL, first year, not great. Second year, needs to prove himself and admits, and it's shown, he doesn't know what to do. You are not the guy, pal. You're not the guy, pal.
Yeah, yeah, that's just that honestly is mind-boggling to me. That's actually crazy.
And speaking of the devil, Cody just tweeted about Jack Sawinski struggling in this game again. Going back to my point from last week, when are the excuses going to stop? And I know some of you are going to be like, well, you're giving Kenny Pickett excuses. Guys, I know I compared this a lot, but it's 2 totally different situations. 2 totally different situations. I'm going to guess the Panther scores.
Yeah, that's a Florida goal.
Okay.
Beautiful shot. Who was
But
that?
I didn't fix it. Hold on. I didn't finish this text.
Yeah,
They have him trying to guess off speed when he should be jumping on strike one. Yes, you need to, in most cases, strike one is going to be a fastball in the zone. With Jack Sawinski's power, which he is strong, and when he gets a hold of one, he can nuke it. Why isn't he jumping on strike one? It's a terrible teaching approach.
it is bad. It's awful.
Alex, you want to be a coach.
Mm.
So say you're Longhorns, baby, and a player, doesn't have to be a quarterback, can be anybody, is in year 2, right? Starting, walks up to you and goes, man, coach, I can't decide what to do. What are you going to do?
So I think that also calls to the way baseball works compared to sports like football, because quite honestly, because I get it, the rotations and stuff like that. It's completely different in baseball than it is in football. Um, but if someone on a football team has no idea what to do, there's probably pretty much no chance they're a starter anyway. But say I'm in a situation where there is a starter, or at least a projected starter, who came up to me and said, "I have no idea what, like, I can't make decisions. I don't know what to do." I would obviously, first of all, obviously, not be like you're an idiot or anything like that. I would tell them like, all right, well, what can we do to like, improve your confidence? What can we do to work on your game to make it better? But I probably wouldn't, you know, be banking on that being a guy that can start for me or play for me like consistently. So
Mm-hmm.
again, I know he's been sent down and called back up, he's gone on and off, but like if he is not capable of making game time decisions on the field, should he really be a player for your team?
No. And I want to make this clear. He did not say this, and I'm sure this isn't happening. Jack Sawinski did not go up to people and say, I don't know what to do. I'm just
Right, obviously, yeah.
saying
No.
what I'm being told. And is part of it Jack Sawinski's fault? Yes. But you want to know who deserves most of this blame? Andy Haynes.
Exactly.
Going back to my point, what else do you need? The classes are off. I'm mad.
Yeah, because if you're a coach on a coaching staff and you've got a guy that just looks lost out there and you're continuing to play him, you can't expect the results to be good. Now, again, it works different in different sports. Baseball is different than football. In football, I would say that there, at least at certain positions, even if you are kind of lost out there, your physical skills can at least be enough to get you so far. Like, especially if you're like a lineman or something like that. Even if you're not perfect with your blocking assignments or understanding it, you can still occasionally make a good play. Because this happens in football a lot. There's a lot of happy accidents in football.
Cruz home run, 112 off the bat, 458 feet.
Let's go. But you know what I mean? Like, in certain situations, certain positions in football, you can at least, make some plays. But in baseball, if you're just jumping and you're guessing at bat and you have no idea what's going on, you're just never going to be effective.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know. I'm out of patience with Jack Sawinski. But moving on. So they actually played the Reds before the Tampa series, and solid series win. But once again, other than Brian Reynolds, which by the way, as of today, because he got it today, 21 game hit streak.
Yeah.
It started at the beginning of the month. It's June 24th as of this recording.
Yeah, it is. That's insane.
I think Reynolds deserves another All-Star vote, in my opinion. But against the Reds, Paul Skeens, another solid performance. Reynolds on the Skeens start was 2 for 4. The game they lost, Bailey faltered, did give up the loss, but he, in my opinion, still looked solid. It was just the home run to Espinal in the 5th that gave it away, and Ellie De La Cruz is also a dog because in the next game he was 3 for 4, but the Pirates did win because Brian Reynolds hit a home run to give them the lead and the victory in that game. Now moving on to the Red Series. Bullpen games are pointless.
They really are.
When they work, they work. When they don't work, it's frustrating because when they don't work, guess what? When you get quality starts out of Jared Jones and Paul Skeens, who do you got after that? Exactly.
Bullpen games are just so funny. Again, get the sports are completely different, but that's like the equivalent of like in the NFL. It's like the middle of the season and two teams are just like, yeah, we want our quarterbacks to be healthy come playoff time. Let's just play our backups. And both teams just play their backup quarterbacks for the game. Like, it just sounds so dumb. in the context of other sports.
But I guess it's like some sort of strategy. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But my question is too. Like, as my mic keeps plugging in and unplugging.
Yeah, I was gonna say it just made some really weird noises for a second.
But Luis Ortiz sometimes starts the bullpen games. Guys, he's pitching well. He's a starter, but in the pen. So why doesn't he just start and give you 5 innings?
Yeah, I know. It's ridiculous.
Now here's the question. Do they, when Quinn Priester is healthy and get to the deadline, do they go with a 6-man rotation or stick with 5? Because possibly by the end of the year, the rotation could look like Mitch Keller, Jared Jones, no particular order, by the way, Paul Skeens. I think they're going to trade Martin Perez. Probably should. Quinn Priester. Because, okay, here's the thing with Quinn Priester. He's like Mitch Keller, in my opinion. Starts off slow, not looking good, on the verge of being DFA'd. I think there's still something there with Quinn Priester. You just have to find it. Do whatever you did with Mitch if you have to, but I think there's something there. And listen, as of right now, I know Paul Skeens is a dog. He is a dog. But Mitch Keller is your ace.
Yeah, he is.
No matter what. You paid him, first of all. And second of all, he was your best pitcher last year, your best starting pitcher. And honestly, is very trustworthy to keep at number 1. Will Paul Skeens eventually possibly take that? Probably.
Yeah.
But Mitch is your guy. He is the guy. Which in Pittsburgh, saying you better be referring to Mitch Keller as the guy when you're in Pittsburgh, because if you're not, and you're referring to a different Mitch, you run.
Yeah.
No, not Trubisky. All right.
That pitching trio really is incredible, though.
Yeah. And the 5th guy, I don't think Braxton Ashcraft will be ready, but you can also trade for a MLB ready guy. That could work. But also that bullpen game, they lost 10-3 game 1 against the Rays. Very frustrating. But a bounce back, even though he did hit somebody in the face in the first inning, and he bounced back from Jared Jones, 4-3 W. O'Neal Cruz, oh my God. This dude hit a 445 nuke in the Allegheny. It was like 116 off the bat.
Cruise missile.
Which hold on. By the way, I believe the final game in the College World Series, I don't really understand. I don't really know the College World Series and how it works that well.
Me either.
So I could be wrong, but I think this is the final game in the College Men's World Series Finals, tied 1-1, Game 3, and Tennessee in the top of the 8th is leading Texas A&M 6-1. So, but as of right now, it looks like Tennessee is probably going to win the Natty.
That's crazy.
So, last year was LSU with Dylan Cruz and Paul Skeens, and now it looks like possibly Tennessee. Now, if I am wrong, then I am definitely probably going to be deleting this later. But it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. We get crap anyway. But Sunday, 3-1 loss. Alex, guess how many hits the Pirates had? They had hits, but guess how many hits they had?
5.
No.
Oh God. 3.
Yep. Now, one other guy did get a hit, but you want to know who was the only person that had multiple hits? Take a guess.
Reynolds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
2 hits, and Edward Olivares had 1, and that was it.
Wow.
I'm gonna scream. I'm gonna scream. 3 hits.
Olivares, of all people, with the 3rd hit. Wow.
3 hits. On Paul Skeens Day. Yep.
Or even is Olivares on the order? I don't even know. That's terrible.
Skeen's last strikeout was 102. It had another quality start. You know what? Take over for a second. I'm gonna mute my microphone. I need a break. Take over.
Jesus.
Because I might have to call Bryce. So go ahead.
All right, we're gonna do some live comm while Mike's muted. Florida Edmonton game right now. Florida just iced the puck, so they're gonna get a face-off in their own zone with 6.2 seconds left in the second period. Florida's out shooting Edmonton 17-15 at the moment. Might be 17-16 after these last 6 seconds. Nope, the puck got flung out. That's the end of the second period. He's losing his mind. End of 2 going into the second intermission. Florida leads 2-1, out shooting Edmonton 17-15. Florida, after leading at the end of 2, is 68-0-4 in the last 72. That's regular season and playoffs. Holy cow, that's unbelievable. Also, both of the Florida Panthers' goals tonight have come from guys who only have 1 goal in the series. Carter Verhaeghe and Sam Reinhart. Verhaeghe's came in the first game of the series, a 3-0 shutout at home, and I can't remember when Reinhart's goal was. But yeah, both scorers for Florida tonight, netting only their 2nd goal of the series. McDavid really hasn't done much, and there's 20 minutes left in the Stanley Cup Finals to determine the winner. Will Florida bring home their first Stanley Cup in franchise history? Or will the Oilers get their first Stanley Cup win since the Wayne Gretzky era? It's a great storyline. I really didn't realize that until I did a little more research, but this Stanley Cup Finals is a crazy storyline. Mike is probably talking outraged on the phone with Bryce right now. This is so funny. Can we get like a technical difficulties bleep or something of like... There's your Stanley Cup Finals update on Game 7, though.
Oh, perfect timing, Alex. So I have
back to your normally scheduled programming.
I have Bryce on the phone, and here, Bryce, let's see if Alex can hear you if I put the microphone. So go ahead, talk.
Alex, you hear me, brother?
Yeah, I got you.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. Bryce, once again, 3 hits on Paul Skeens Day.
Well, I will try to keep this as nice as I possibly can.
Hey, the penalty box doesn't apply to you because you're not technically on the show, by the way.
Well, I also want you to have a lot of editing. But like I said, Paul Skeens Day, what can go wrong? I'll tell you what can go wrong. The Pittsburgh Pirates walked out onto the field. That's what went wrong. That was what I would like to start by saying Brian Hayes is not a leadoff hitter. I remember he let off that game. He is not a leadoff hitter. But it's a good thing that we have Brian frickin' Reynolds.
21 games, baby.
If we didn't have Brian Reynolds, we would have had 1 hit and 0 runs, and we would have got man by the Rays. Now, keep in mind, the Rays aren't great either. They're 38-40.
No.
They had 1 hit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 13 different players stepped up to the plate. Not all to hit at once. Some of them had more than others. Only 2 of them had a hit, and 1 of them had multiple hits, which was 2. And it was Brian Reynolds.
Jesus.
We're looking. What's going to happen is Paul Skeens is going to be one of the only pitchers to finish this year that has 8 wins and 10 where he could record a win or a loss. And his ERA is going to be sub-1, and we're not going to make the playoffs because we don't know how to hit the ball. It's horrible. And then just to add insult to injury, tonight when I was getting on ESPN, I just looked. They're losing 11-5.
Yeah, I know.
What a great time to be a Pittsburgh Pirates baseball fan. I'm going to net with the game here soon, And I can't wait. I hope they win because or hope they lose because I'm gonna start chanting fire none of them.
Dude, I would do that. So I'm gonna be with Alex on the 4th of July.
Yeah.
So the next day, I'm going to the game. I believe they're playing the Mets. So I don't know. And by the way, I could be cutting this out because I don't know if the audio is gonna pick this up. But we're having a chat with Bryce anyway. If this does pick up, but dude, I need it, and I'll just say like this is a cut because we were talking to Bryce on the phone and the audio did not pick it up, whatever. But yeah, that's it. I'm mad, and it looks like Tennessee's going to win the College World Series.
Let's go.
They're winning 6-1 right now against Texas A&M. So
I also do have a little inside information, but I do have some information for the next time I'm on about our farm system, just a little bit.
let me double check. I actually might have. I believe I do have the date when Bryce is back on. Let me see. I know the next 3 weeks we are booked, so we hopefully have a guest. 2 weeks, July 8th, with Alex Harps. Another Alex.
It's the OG Alex going to be.
Next week, by the looks of it, it's possibly Ickes and Ian. And then in 3 weeks, it will be EJ and Rufus. And then you're back on July 29th as well. So there's that. But all right, that's all. I need to get that out.
Yeah, I'll talk to you later, buddy. Have fun.
All right, yeah. I'll see you later.
Yeah.
All right, do run down before I get mad.
Alrighty, let's do this. So, looking at the sheet, as of this recording, Brian Reynolds now has a 21 game hit streak, not 20 anymore. The New England Patriots signed Ramondre Stevenson to a 4-year, $36 million deal. Yikes. The Kansas City Governor signs offer to Chiefs and the Royals for stadium help. Thank God. They need it bad. David Bednar's on IL, not really anything crazy. Mets closer Edwin Diaz was ejected for having foreign substance in yesterday's game. More PEDs from the MLB, shocking. Blue Jays' Elvis Martinez gets 80-game ban for PED violation. Again, shocking.
What happens more in baseball than you think, by the way?
The Rangers' Max Scherzer returns, ties Greg Maddux in strikeouts. That's pretty freaking cool. As we've talked about, the Tennessee Volunteers are currently leading Texas A&M in the MCWS, and I believe you are right. I believe it's best of 3. So This would be it. I tuned into this right after those protesters who very ineffectively threw some chalk on the golf course yesterday got arrested. Scotty Scheffler beat Tom Kim in the playoff yesterday to win PGA Travelers Tour. Scotty just continuing to win. None of us are surprised. The Memphis Tigers have landed 2025's number 3 ranked quarterback Antoine Hill. I would love to look into the coaching staff and see who the hell managed to recruit him to Memphis. Last bullet point on here, I got a couple things off the top of my head as well after this. The Cleveland Cavaliers are hiring Golden State assistant Kenny Atkinson as the franchise's next head coach, and the two sides are working on a contract that's expected to be completed soon. So, Cleveland, LeBron's other team besides the Heat as well, also gets a new head coach. And then, 2 other things, one off the top of my head. Chiefs defensive lineman Isaiah Buggs is expected to be released after being arrested in Alabama twice this offseason. I love the NFL offseason. And finally, the Boston Brewers acquired forward Mark Kastelich. Yeah, Mark Kastelich, guard Jonas
Nailed it.
Corpusalo, and 2024 first-round pick from Ottawa for Linus Olmark. Sorry, Haley, he's not going to be a Maple Leaf. Your goaltending's still going to suck next year. Those are the other 2 I can think of off the top of my head. I don't believe we're missing anything else from Rundown. So, there you go.
So I want to say something real quick before we sign off. Which, by the way, up to you, because we'll have plenty of time to add it in. If you want to wait until the game is over, and then we record another thing real quick, 5 minutes tops, so it's already out, so we can talk about the Stanley Cup champions, and we can add it into this episode. Totally up to you. I don't care what we do.
I'd say we just recap it next week and hopefully have Dom on for that.
Yeah, facts. Professional wrestling fans, look in my eyes.
Oh no. It's never good when this happens.
Shane McMahon is not going to AEW. Why? Why? That's an actual rumor.
There's no way.
Why the hell, when he is in a war with the son-in-law of the McMahons, Triple H, why the hell would Tony Khan sign a McMahon?
Yeah, I mean, honestly,
Are you stupid?
are you dumb or are you stupid?
I can tell you right now, that is 100% bull. He's not going to AEW. AEW is where the best wrestle. Do not. And here's the thing. Even if you're thinking about it, Tony, do not sign Shane McMahon, even if you're thinking about it. Okay?
You know what he should do?
What?
He should go rewatch Will Ospreay versus Bryan Danielson.
Bryan Danielson, yeah. Whenever we play Wavelength again, if I know it's a high number, just to put the nail in the coffin, I'm going to say name me a wrestler, and that only brings you down to 2, because I already know you don't think Sammy Guevara is a 9 or 10. In my opinion, he is, but
I'd say he's a solid 8.
these are Alex. These would be Alex's 3 answers for the high wrestlers: Maxwell Jacob Friedman, MJF. Actually, 4: Christian Cage,
Yep.
Will Ospreay, and Bryan Danielson.
Yeah. Goats.
Now, 1. I'm just kidding. It's still CM Punk. He's still one of the greats. And Phil Brooks is not. But yeah, hopefully
Phil.
Hopefully we have a guest next week.
Oh God, I really hope so.
I hate these shows with a burning passion. But next week looks like it's going to be Ickes and possibly Ian. But send it.
I don't have paper. I have a shirt. I have a tank top. It's white like paper. It counts.
Because you're Italian.
Yeah. Good night, America.
You should cover the